Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Good to see you, Chalak Pace. Behaaloscha. So we started learning a very beautiful Mitzvah Hashem. Today we'll finish it off, this part of the Sefer. So we started learning about the Menorah. The Menorah says in the Haftarah, this is Parsha on Behaaloscha, for Esi v'hine Menorah zav kula. Menorah is totally gold, and this is talking about representative of the Jewish people. We all have this Menorah, and just like the Menorah had different branches, we are, so to speak, and the 7 different branches, the 7 types of Yidden, meaning 7 general types, which means in simple English, we're saying that everyone has their style, their modus operandi, the way they express themselves. And we have to realize that we all together make that Menorah, and everyone has to bring their talents and their kishrenes, as the Rebbe says. And like we say, I was created only to serve my master, which means we have to take those talents and use them out, not just for the talents itself sake, but use that talent to connect to Hashem and bring people closer to Hashem, as we're going to explain further today. L'mashul, if you have a talent in music, so it's not just enough to express, to learn talent. We talked about Rabbi Lipska. He had a talent in music, but he used that talent to connect people with chassidus and to spread nigunim and things like this. And so too with us, we take whatever talent we have, whether it's music or teaching or whatever it is. Everyone has to think to themselves what their talent is, and if they don't think they have any talent, they gotta sit down and make a proper cheshbon, because it's impossible. And unfortunately, Yitzhar might get to us and make us feel that we have no talents. So we have to go work on figuring out what they are. And if someone has a problem, you can come into me and I'll help you. And take those talents and use that to serve Hashem. And that's what we were saying yesterday. Now, even though it's interesting, because on one hand, we're saying everyone's different. There's 7 branches, very different styles of people. But, and therefore, even though there's these different types of people and the way they come about to expressing Hashem and being the Menorah is a very different way. One could be a kav of chesed, and one could be in the exact opposite of kav of gevura, which you look at them together and they look two opposites, but they go together. You could also say, Efshar, maybe you could say also in regards to marriage the same way, that sometimes a couple could be very different styles, but if they have the same values, the same matara, the same purpose, the same goals, those things doesn't matter. That's just the way to get them. But all roads lead back to Yerushalayim. It doesn't matter which way you all go back to the same point. And someone can't say, this person's a chesed person, and we think to ourselves, this person's very good at miftzayim or whatever it is, as good as learning, good at being kind, have all these talents. They're going to be successful. For me, I don't have all these things. Everyone has their place, and that ends off all in the same place, expressing the talent and bring everybody and ourselves close to Hashem. Yeah, exactly. As we said, and the way it goes, the matara near is the ein miyad, the purpose that is seen very clearly, very quickly when you recognize what's going on, what people are doing. Shekein gam begilui zu derech shel, because we see, and this is a way of Avos Yisrael, that the person could be very strict and very gevurdik and acting in a gevurdik way, but that is also expressing Avos Yisrael, where the person is a person that is a chesed, a person is also expressing Avos Yisrael. And that's what we're saying. And this is all connected with Aaron and Kohen. And we're going to start to get on to the topic of Aaron. This is the purpose of Aaron. He lit the Menorah. Aaron loved the brios. Brios, we're going to discuss what that means. It literally means creations. And he brought them close to the Torah. Meaning, gam brios, which is ke'ela she'enam mechunanim b'shum yisarin. What does it mean when we say a bria? He's saying the person has no real value besides the fact that they're created. When you say bria, it's like a very, in a certain sense, it's a very demeaning. It's like a person that has nothing to show for themselves. Even such a person, ve'ein bahem ela migrois b'vad, they only have negative character traits. There's nothing good about them. My lasam hayachida, the only mila, the only specialness, the only unique contribution that they have to this world is the fact that Hashem created them. They have no milas. The only mila they have is that Hashem created them. As the Alter says, even even to such a person, Aaron should love. It's easy to love a person that they have all these milas and these good things. You're like, oh, I want to be hanging out with them. They're fun. I love that guy. You know, the girl's always doing cool things. I want to hang out with them. That's yeah, it's obvious. But Aaron was doing the same feeling, the same acting, even to people that everyone pushes away. And you see this, you know, and there's also different levels in this, but you see some people like this, you know, that they connect with, as a friend of mine, they became Baal Tshuva. He said, his father said, I should have known that you're going to become religious when you used to talk to the homeless people by the train station. He was a Me'ein Aaron, Mekarvan Latera. And this is a beautiful idea. They're saying not just that this was his purpose to show them love, the way he did it. Meaning so Aaron, it says, he loves the creation, he brought them closer to Torah. It's not that the reason why he loved them is because he's going to bring them closer to Torah. Because he loved them, he brought them closer to Torah. This is a fundamental idea that shifts everything in the way you look at everything. Meaning like this, and this is such a beautiful idea. Mekarvan Latera, if they're ever saying it's such a beautiful idea, he goes, Matarasai, his purpose wasn't just to bring them closer to Torah. That was the way he did it. Meaning, his ways was because he loved creations. And through that, he loved them. Meaning like this. And this is a parenting 101. Not necessarily so easy, but this is 101, and this is how we look at everything. And this is really Chabad philosophy 101, but people don't recognize this. Do we get a person full in tefillin because, do we love a person because they do a mitzvah? Or because we love them, we get them to do a mitzvah? And, you know, it's like in a child. Do I love my child because they do Torah mitzvahs, because they do good things, because they behave, because they're a mensch? Oh, I love you, you're a mensch. Basically, when you do that, you're saying, you don't have any intrinsic value. Your value is your actions. And really, Aaron was the opposite. And that's why it's hard to see someone, you know, have bad character. They behave not menschlich or whatever it is. So I don't like them. Your actions, your sum total view. And also for ourselves, the worst part about this is for ourselves, we look at ourselves this way, that I'm only as good as what I do. If I daven and I learn and I wash nogavas and I say abracha and I treat people nicely, I'm a good person. And if I didn't do things to my standard, I thought I made up a standard and I don't do it towards that standard, then what am I? I'm not a good person. That's the wrong way to look at it. The right way to look at it is like Aaron, he loved the brios. Aaron sees, he says, I love you, so come do a mitzvah. I love you, come close to Torah. Because he loves the person, he brings him close to Torah. And when you do that, that changes the whole perspective. And a person feels that way. It's like the famous story, I've said this before.
I play a game.
A guy on Mivtzayim in Eretz Yisrael, in I think it was in Tel Aviv, it was in the main bus station over there. So, you know, whoever's been to Israel, you have these big bus stations, and it's like sort of hubs where everyone goes and coming back and forth. And the guy set up shop, a Mivtzayim booth. So he puts it in, you know, this big hall, and he's on one side, and he's asking people to put in tefillin. And he's getting people to put in tefillin. You know, in Israel, everyone, basically everyone, yeah, it's very nice, very successful. So a guy is Lubavitcher, didn't love Chassidus. He's like, hey, this looks cool. Like, this guy's doing some good things. Like, I should also do it. So he comes and he sets up shop on the other side. So there's big competition. He wasn't trying to be competition, I don't think, but he sets up shop on the other side. And he's trying to get people to tefillin, and no one is coming to him. No one's coming to him. He sees the Lubavitch on the other side, but everyone's coming to him. And he, by himself, he's stuck. No one's coming. He doesn't understand. So he goes, you know what? And then when he asked, he said, no, leave me alone, and walk off. So he goes, you know what? The next person, I'm by hook or by crook, I'm going to get them. So the next person comes, and he goes, come, put in tefillin. The guy goes, no, leave me alone. He goes, no, come on. Put in tefillin, he's a mitzvah. And he tries to convince him. The guy's like, leave me alone. As only Israelis know how to do. He was very nice and rough with him. He said, get out of my face. Like, get out of here. So he gave out him. What can he do? So the guy walks off, and he sees him walk past the Lubavitch. And the Lubavitch says, I'm put tefillin. He's like, yeah. And he goes for tefillin. So he comes over. He's all unhappy. He's like, hey, I don't get you. What? By me, you don't put in tefillin. By him, you do. If you're going to put a knot on him, okay, fine, I get it. It's us, but it's like, it's me. What did I do wrong? So he said to him, he goes, the difference in you and him, he goes, you care about your Gan Eden, and the Lubavitcher cares about my Gan Eden. And I think this is sort of the point we're saying here, or we're talking about like Aaron. Aaron didn't care about his Gan Eden. He cared about the other person. He cared about the person. Because over he loved him. The guy felt he's doing this, that this chassid that he's putting on tefillin, he's asking me to put on tefillin, it's not because he wants to gain something from it, it's because he cares about me. And what's it saying? You have to show the kids don't want to know what you care about, but if you care about them. I don't remember exactly the vibe, but the idea is, and the message is for ourselves, that we have to recognize within ourselves when people around us that they're good. This is the mode of Aaron. They're good, and because they're good, we want to help them. When you come to a person, you say, I love you, I care about you, and you really mean it. And then you come and say, hey, can I help you? I think this would be helpful for you. People are willing to listen. But if you come, you say, hey, you should go do this. So people say, hey, you don't care about me. And they feel it. And this was the way Aaron was. Yeah. Through that, he brought them closer to Teva because he loved them. The purpose wasn't to love them. The purpose was because he loved them. He brought them closer to the Torah. To make them B'nai Torah. People, they transform them to Torah learners, to Torah people connect to Torah. This is also the ways of the Rebbeim. Until the Fidik Rebbe, including the Fidik Rebbe. That their job was to light the menorah. Light, everyone is a menorah, everyone is a branch, and the Rebbe's job is to light it up. We all have a candle. We have lights. But some of them are waiting for someone to light it. This is the avoid of the Nasi, of the Rebbeim. And the Rebbe's job is to light up every one of these branches so they can all be light. Every Yid, meaning if there's a Yid that doesn't have his light lit, the menorah is not fully lit. And the Rebbe's job, like Aaron, was to light the menorah, get everyone's spark lit. Yeah. By all the Rebbeim, and even more by the Fidik Rebbe, was very, very revealed the amount of Ava he had. Not just that the purpose was light. The way wasn't that he was trying to convince people to do Torah mitzvahs, and only then he should care, but everyone should care. And he dealt, and the Fidik Rebbe dealt with people, with a generation that, especially when he came to America, that people totally fried out. In a way of closeness and a way of peace, in a peaceful way. Hidlik es ner vanishes Adam b'cholsi Yisrael. In all types of Yidden, he lit up their menorah, their candle. And it's such a beautiful verse. So there's a lot of things we learn here. First of all, we learn that we all have a talent, and we have to express our talent, and not just express it in any way, but use that expression of that talent to further Jewish causes. That's first of all. Second of all, we have to recognize that we have to love everyone, love ourselves, because we have an nefesh kiss, not because of what we do. You don't love your kid because they behave or because they do good on tests. I love them because they're my kids. I love them because they have a neshama. It's nice that they do all these good things, but if they don't do anything, does that mean I love them less? Now you might say, I'll be honest, I don't. That's something we got to transform. We got to change with this reality because it's not healthy. And the kids will ultimately feel you don't really care about them, they don't love them. And this is why it's a big challenge with Baal Tshuva parents and their kids, because they they try to shove the Yiddishkeit, and the kid feels you don't really love me. You just care about my mitzvahs. If I don't do mitzvahs, you don't care about me anymore. And the Baal Tshuva parent don't even necessarily realize what they're doing. But if they come with this attitude of like Aaron, that I love you, and therefore the kid will feel it, and then the mitzvahs aren't like a hindrance. Because then if you do it the other way, that it's all about the mitzvah and they care about the mitzvah more than you, then you start to resent the Torah mitzvahs. And then the third thing we said over here is we're talking about Aaron and all the Nisim that had this mood. And we have to realize that the job of the Nasi, and this is why you need to have a Rebbe, because the Rebbe's job is to light up your menorah. That without him, we could have a struggle lighting up a menorah. Realizing that, and again, the menorah is that talent that we have, being able to express godliness through it. So, Mitzvah Hashem, all of us, we should have the connection to Nasi, especially we're coming up to Gimel Tammuz. This is a reminder how we have to connect to the Rebbe, and we have to recognize we have talents, and we have to look at ourselves good. Mitzvah Hashem, we continue tomorrow. Have an amazing day.